We interviewed D Haven.
Shout out to D Haven.
Did you know about a D Haven when Jay-Z was first coming up?
Yeah. You know, I'm from Boston, and D Haven's name came up a bunch of times, of course.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, everybody knew D Haven was like Jay's muscle. I mean that.
Oh, okay. So that's the
that's
real
how
thing.
I looked at it. When I heard D Haven, and then you know what I'm saying. I know a couple of guys from Marcy, but that's how I looked at it. That's how people looked at me as Dave's muscle. Not knowing that I was making a lot of the business decisions at the source.
Right.
So you know that's how you're looked upon, because D Haven had a rep in Marcy.
Right. Nobody with D Haven.
Yeah, like Jay really wasn't what D Haven was, but that's all right because that's how it happens. Look, not all the rappers. It's crazy because back in the day, the rapper just had a rap. Now we all from the hood. It's not like you had to go out there and kill somebody. It flipped now to where it's that the rappers, the killers are the ones because of the internet getting the most attention. The ones who are killing. The ones who do the most killing. The ones who do the most crime. The ones who are the bravest. The ones who live more dangerous. That shit is backwards as hell.
We had this kind of discussion. They was like, with D Heaven, and they was like, well, what was Jay-Z in the group? And I was like, he was the rapper. They was like, no, what was he? The rapper, nigga.
Right. Right, but that's a big part. That's the money.
Benzino is calling it out as it is, and he isn't holding back. Jaguar Wright, the R&B singer turned controversial figure, has been stirring up the industry with accusations left and right. But according to Benzino, she's stepping into some dangerous territory, especially when it comes to her claims about Jay-Z. If she keeps running her mouth, she could find herself in a serious legal mess that could completely upend her life. And let's be real, Benzino knows a thing or two about the industry and how the legal game works.
A lot of these niggas that was out here hustling wasn't gonna get no money like rap money at its peak. Like rap money at its peak is good ass money. And you know, you ain't gotta be risking your life for it on no corner or risking your freedom. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't downplay that Jay was a rapper. The nigga was a dope ass rapper, and you know what I'm saying? Like, if you a real ass nigga and you the street nigga, and you the nigga with the rep, it only makes sense. Play your position. Everybody play their position and we gonna be all right. When the rapper starts trying to play the killer, or when the killer starts trying to play the rappers, where again the lines are getting blurred. This is where all the problems we're having now.
When you see someone like Jaguar Wright on our platform, and she says a lot of stuff about people, things that she say, and now it comes true. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have any, like...
I mean, it's not just Jaguar, right? Everybody's saying things. People know the more outlandish you're gonna say is gonna be it's gonna make the blogs. That's what's gonna get the traffic. That's it now. It's the thing to do now. It's taking over a lot of people. My thing is, some of the stuff that I've heard Jag say makes perfect sense. You can tell she comes across as intelligent, talented, and then other she says you could just see is just starting up, because there's no reason to start up with anybody if you're not willing to take the consequences. If you're willing to take the consequences, then you shouldn't be speaking on anybody, because when the consequences come, then don't. You know what I'm saying? And then people, well, I'll call the police, but that's not.
Jaguar Wright has built a reputation for her no-filter attitude and her willingness to spill what she calls the true truth about some of the biggest names in the music business for months. Now she's been making headlines with explosive allegations. But as Benzo points out, words have consequences, especially when you're talking about someone like Jay-Z. Jay isn't just any celebrity. He's a billionaire mogul who has the power, the resources, and the legal muscle to take anyone down in court. And if Jag keeps pushing, Benzino says she might just be setting herself up for a rude awakening for the weekend.
And actually last week, approximately 4 days ago, Media Takeout ran an article, and in the article they're saying that Jay-Z's legal team was in the process of filing a lawsuit against Jaguar Wright. They're also saying now that Jaguar Wright is actually flustered, backtracking, and now saying that some of the claims that she made against Jay-Z on numerous YouTube shows and podcasts were AI. Now, Jag, as always, we have a great relationship with her over the years, if people don't remember, we were probably the first platform to really make Jaguar Wright known as far. And when she was trying to get her story out there about Malik B, she came to us and said, look, y'all come highly recommended, because a lot of people were hitting her at that time. And it was a powerful interview. Did great numbers and it got a great response. But just want to put that out there and lay the, foundation for everything. What's your thoughts? First of all, we don't know if Jay-Z is really, Media Takeout is reporting that, but there's no documents or anything out there. It's just a rumor circulating around. But we do know that Jay-Z went at Piers Morgan for having Jaguar Wright going there with her claims about him.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on these rumors right now, man?
So first and foremost, she's always been good to this platform. She's always been good to us individually. So I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt right now until we find out what's going on. But I'm going to answer the question if it happened. If she is saying that it was AI that did this, it's absolutely ridiculous. That is the craziest thing I've heard in a while, and it's a shame, and it's gonna hurt a lot of people, because a lot of people, you got a sector of people that thought she was absolutely batshit crazy, and we brought that up numerous times on our interviews with her. And you got a sector of people who thought that she was 100% telling the truth and used her as a martyr and as a foundation to everything that we've seen kind of go into motion the last few years in regards to, in particular, Diddy and Jay-Z.
Right.
Anytime something come up, Jaguar Wright was right. Jaguar this was the Jaguar Wright was that. So you had a sector of people that really believed in what she was saying, and then you had the other half thinking that she was crazy. So if she comes out and there's a video that her come out saying that she physically was doing AI, or if it is true, it completely washes her. It completely leaves her absolutely irrelevant, and there's no point of doing any more interviews. And I just put it like that. As much respect as I have for her, and I will continue to have for her because of how she's treated us.
Let's think about it. Lawsuits are no joke. You're not just talking about throwing accusations around on Instagram or spilling tea in interviews. When lawyers get involved, it's a whole different ballgame. Benzino made it clear that lawsuits are expensive. You're not just hiring any lawyer. You need someone who can actually go up against the legal powerhouse that Jay-Z would unleash. And that costs money, a lot of it, even if you're making a few coins. From interviews, like Benzino says that cash will disappear fast when the legal fees start piling up.
Benefit of the doubt. Hopefully it's not true, but if it is, it completely diminishes everything she's ever said, and you got to look at all of it with a grain of salt now.
Yeah, because you can't see, if it's like a song or something, that's different. But somebody sitting on camera actually saying something that can be verified numerous times.
You answering questions.
Yeah, you really can't, and it probably won't hold up in a court of law. But I'm sure she's felt some type of pressure from Jay-Z. But here's the thing about this whole thing, man. It's like people have turned this thing into an industry now of spreading, whether it be rumors, falsehoods, salacious lies about people. And once you get hot once, you get hot again, you get hot again. Now it's like the only reason people gonna want me to come on their show is to do this type of shit. Is to keep on making shit up and keep on pushing the envelope and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. We see it now. People that have been around Jay-Z, Dame Dash, all these people, and we gotta talk about him too, but that's another thing. Like, it's like now you made a career off lying on somebody. I'm not saying that's what Jaguar, right? I'm sure there's some truth in what she's saying, but you see other people, whether they be bodyguard, security guard, they did a song.
Old producers,
anything. Yeah. Now, every time you go on the internet, you're talking about this person. Because it's the scary part is it makes you money now. It gets you attention now. So you keep pushing the envelope. You know what, matter of fact, I saw him over here. He was in a bathhouse with this person. I saw him over there. He tried to do this to me. Like, where was all these stories before? Now all of a sudden, every time something happens, it's a new story, it's a new story, it's a new story. That's the dangerous part, because now you're getting compensated for lies. And I think this is what fuels people's desire to continue to lie and drag people down. But it gets to a point where you can keep getting it off. You keep poking the bear, you're poking the bear, you're poking the bear, and then it turns into a Tasha K. Cardi B situation where it's like, look, even if you don't have no money, I'm gonna make a fucking example out of you. That's when it gets scary.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when YouTube, man, see, when you start getting checks the way these social media platforms was giving them out based off views, man, it'll change your whole shit. But what it does is it brings out who is genuine and who is just doing it for money. And it brings out the ugly in people.
Yeah.
And when you see that first check, and I don't know what the number could be, but it's typically sweet when you're doing millions and millions of views. That next month, you getting something probably bigger than you've ever gotten. And let me tell you something. That goes for music. That goes for comedy. That goes for acting. That goes for a lot of these professions out here where you and assuming these people are making a lot of money. Wait till they get their first YouTube check. They switch up their whole shit. You say, oh, now they got a podcast. Now they got this. Now they got that. It ain't no more acting. I'm a content creator. Because them checks be hitting. So you can only imagine when you got a Jaguar Wright or anybody for that matter who comes out and says these things and say controversial things and they get all these views and they start getting compensated for it. Okay, well.
And they start getting compensated for it. Okay, well. And here's the thing, once you're in court, it's not about who has the most shocking story. It's about who can prove their case. Jaguar WGHT has been very vocal, but can she back up her claims with hard evidence? That's what a lawsuit would demand. In court, you can't just talk, you need documents, witnesses, and proof. If you don't have that, you lose. And losing a case like this doesn't just mean you walk away embarrassed, it means you owe money, big money. Jay-Z could sue her for defamation, and if he wins, Jaguar Wright might end up having to pay damages that could leave her broke.
Jay-Z news has hit the Wall Street Journal. This is not good for stock, but someone warned us all along, and we have her here to respond. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and I am here with the one and only Jaguar Wright. Jaguar, you told us all so. How are you feeling today?
Like Bill Murray in that movie Groundhog's Day.
Oh, yep. You're just, you know, this is not surprising to you.
At all.
It's wild. I asked you this earlier. You're not enjoying this because this is a tough day because you know look, and I have to say I don't know the truth. But Jaguar has been warning us about Jay-Z. Yeah. Jay-Z has now had an official lawsuit. It's everywhere. It's now being talked about louder than ever. I guess, does that give you some peace to know that people are finally really questioning this man?
It's emboldening me. I spoke on Piers Morgan. I said that I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great because he's been evading. But the thing is, everyone in the backdrop knew that he was the celebrity John Doe. Everybody knew that. They knew it when I did Piers Morgan.
Is Beyonce celebrity B?
I hope to God not. But she was around. And she's very... she's got enough on her plate. After everything that happened with the election and everything that's happening right now, I'm not going to dump on that woman. She got better fish to fry. Well, what I will say is that her husband, she knows exactly who he is.
Yeah.
She knows.
I want to give you props though, because on your channel, which I want to plug, you Jaguar Wright Effect, you guys can support it. You posted last night, your first response was reposting the unedited Piers Morgan interview, which I found very ballsy and very telling. And again, this is where it all came from, where Piers Morgan was scared by Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's attorney, proving they are watching and they're being litigious. I got to watch my back, Jaguar. I appreciate you
That's fine.
Getting that. And I don't want to lose my platform. I can't afford
God,
Alex
no.
Spiro.
I wouldn't want that for anyone. I don't want anyone to lose their platform.
He's good. He's good too. Right or wrong.
He's real good.
What I wanted to take this video for is we're going to have Jaguar live tomorrow around 4 p.m. Eastern. She's coming back for a long-form conversation. We're going to hear plenty. If you got questions, come ask them. Jonas, tomorrow, hit the subscribe. Jaguar.
Benzino even said it was all good a week ago. That's the harsh reality of the entertainment industry. 1 minute you're on top of the world, sharing your story, feeling like you're untouchable. The next minute you're hit with a lawsuit, scrambling to find a lawyer, and watching everything you've worked for crumble. And let's be honest, Jaguar Wright has been in the game long enough to know how this works. She's seen it happen before for celebrities who get sued. lose their cases, and are left with nothing. So, why would she risk it all?
For you here, I want to say, because people say you're being crazy, but the reality is I think you were onto something before a lot of us, specifically about Jay-Z. And there are some clips I want to watch with you, particularly one of Rihanna that really freaked me out. This clip, guys, if you haven't seen it, which I hadn't seen it till this morning when I saw this headline, Kim found it for me. Let's watch this clip quickly.
Crazy
Let's
that you
watch
haven't
Tyra
seen
like pushing to get this out of Rihanna, and when it does, man, it made me feel very, very uncomfortable.
Audition. Yes. But before I met him, I was so nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming.
And you had to sing a cappella for him?
Yes, I had to sing. I sang Fun to Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time.
Yeah. So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, we don't sign songs here, we sign artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he did it one more.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal signed or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing.
Yeah.
And
The audience is so uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if Tyra was trying to get that on the record, but my God, what Jaguar? He threatened her. This is her own words coming out of her mouth, and she was a kid at that time, correct?
15-year-old girl who had been flown to the United States without parental supervision or a chaperone, brought to a grown man's office in a large corporate Manhattan building. Everybody knew when she flew in. I was there the day she got signed. Everyone was talking about it. And the 6 hours that she spent with him, and the 4 hours that she spent alone with him with no parental supervision. Her father didn't show up to the next day to come and collect the check.
Well, and
This isn't her life.
The rumors were even beyond that, right? That Jay-Z was cheating on Beyonce with her when she was
Very much
17
so.
is what a lot of this came out through a publicist who later then
Have
had
you
to
spoken
apologize.
to my friend Jonathan Hay? You should talk to Jonathan.
Please.
Because Jonathan was there. He was right there working with Rihanna. And it was right when they started crafting her to be seen as a brand and commodity only and not a person. And when I talk to Jonathan now, just to hear him when he thinks of his teenage daughters, he was like, Rihanna was the same age my girls are now. I couldn't imagine putting my daughters through what we put her through. And then the next thing you know, she was removed from that first team from Pon the Replay and replaced with all new handlers and kept sheltered in Los Angeles, where she was going out to parties and partying at 15, 16, 17 years old, hanging out at the Rainbow Room, hanging out. Yeah, like
What's really interesting here is Benzino's take on Jaguar Wright's recent behavior. He's noticed that she's backpedaling. 1 minute she's on interviews making shocking claims about Jay-Z, and the next she's softening her stance and saying I didn't say that. That's a classic sign that someone knows they've gone too far. It's like when you're a kid and you say something you know you shouldn't have, and then you start backtracking because you're scared of what's coming. Except in this case, what's coming isn't just a slap on the wrist, it's a multi-million-dollar lawsuit.
It feels like to be strapped to a bed with a man put a gun in your head and tell you sing, or he's gonna blow your brains out while he's raping you. That's what Sean Carter done to me. That's what Sean Carter done to me. That's what Sean Carter done to me. That's what Sean Carter done to me.
Wow.
What's wrong, and you only
What the point in talking about it? Cause don't nobody want to believe it. No way.
I believe that shit. There's no way you. What's the purpose of lying? Why you ain't sued? Why the shit ain't sued you?
See, this the thing. That's why I didn't talk about what happened to me. Because I knew that they would say that I was making it up. So instead, I spoke up for other people with things that I knew to be true. Because that you can't say. is self-generated.
I wondered it because I was wondering in my spirit because I'm an activist.
I'm no
How is it
different.
that you?
I'm a victim, no different than the rest of them, which is how I know they all victims. Because I'm one too.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt that from the beginning, Jag.
Yeah.
We just ain't never been able to be on here to do it because I was like, how the
You
hell
don't know what it feels like to wake up in your hotel room and to know that your husband left and was paid to leave, and that nigga is sitting there waiting for you to wake up, watching you sleep. Or the car that comes and picks you up. And you better get it.
Now, before I play further context of the conversation between this gentleman here and Jaguar Wright going back and forth about the authenticity of these clips, I will say, to give her some leeway, not much, but some, is it's pretty clear that the videos have been cut in some areas. I do the same thing on my channel. Sometimes people ramble. Sometimes people say a bunch of stuff that's not relevant to the actual subject at hand. They go off on a tangent and then they bring it back home and talk. And I'll splice out the unnecessary parts of the speech, right? I'm not saying that's what they did here. I'm just giving y'all context that I understand.
And let's not forget who we're talking about here. Jay-Z isn't just a rapper, he's a businessman. He's got lawyers on speed dial who specialize in protecting his reputation. If he decides to come for Jaguar Wright, it won't be half-hearted. He'll go all in. He'll have the best lawyers, the best strategy, and the money to drag the case out as long as it takes. And while Jay-Z can afford to play the long game, Jaguar Wright likely can't, as Benzino said. Jay, just open up the checkbook, that's all it takes for someone at Jay-Z's level. He writes a check and the lawyers handle the rest.
For consistency, etc. Right? So that last part where she talked about somebody paying her husband to leave, that's pretty crazy. Number one, to have a husband that's able to be paid to leave so somebody could come do something to you, if this is, true, that's crazy. To think that you're married to somebody who could be paid off to allow something heinous to happen to you. But number two, we can't say for certain that last piece was referencing Jay-Z. We do know she said she knows what it's like to be held down and taken advantage of, blah, blah, blah. And she came out and said, that's what Sean Carter done to me. That's what Jay-Z done to me. There's that part. We can't overlook that. But there is that last portion, which was demonstrably, you could see it was cut. I can't say for certain that she was talking about him in that spot, but this is where they're about to get into it, because she saw him on YouTube playing these clips of her speaking, talking about Jay-Z, accusing him of these sexual crimes, and now she's threatening this guy here who's in the center of my screen for playing it. She threatens him and says, if your video continues to be up, you're gonna suffer.
Yo, I'm kind of laughing because somebody mentioned this, like Tiffany Haddish didn't say nothing, and I forgot Tiffany Haddish was there. Listen, Tiffany Haddish was all like, "Get me the f out of here!" And thank you, Unplugged Matrix. I appreciate that. Okay, I think this is Jag. Hello, Jag. Is this you? Hello?
You know it's me. You're pathetic. And I just want to let you know this. That chopped and screwed bullshit you just played, that Star edited up and doctored up from that live that I did with Essie Berry and Tiffany Haddish, you are now publishing a lie.
I just chopped it to repeat it. When you said Sean Carter.
No. You chopped and screwed it because everything that you just played wasn't in concession. It was not consecutive. Y'all took that and mixed it up and screwed it up. But that's okay, because the story that Star is trying to convince all of you to run with about me saying that Sean Carter did that to me, That wasn't Sean Carter.
Benzino also touched on a bigger issue that's been happening in the industry. Lately, people saying whatever they want on the internet without thinking about the consequences. Social media has made it easy for people to go viral by saying something shocking, but there's a fine line between sharing your opinion and making defamatory claims. If you're going to accuse someone of something serious, you better be ready to back it up, otherwise you're not. Just risking your reputation, you're risking your financial future. As Benzino put it, people got to be held responsible about the underscore they say on the internet. He's absolutely right. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences.